Hey, it's Ryan Lee. It's Friday, time for another video. So over the past few weeks, I've been telling you about the value of relationships, building relationships with your clients and customers, and also with joint venture partners, affiliate partners. And one thing I didn't say, though, is obviously underlying everything, beneath it all, you have to have good products and services. You could build these good relationships, but if your products are crap, your service are crap, your customer support's crap, pretty much everything's crap, it's not going to work because people still aren't going to support you and you're not going to have the customers around for a long time. So, with that being said, here's a real life way of how this works. So, I had a site where I was doing interviews with different coaches and marketing people and business people. And one of the people I interviewed was Mark Joyner. And Mark Joyner is someone who I've watched for years. When I first got on the internet back in '98, he was someone I studied. And I've always admired him from afar, not in a stalker kind of way, but I thought he was just a really sharp guy. And he's the guy who had, a $2 million launch years before anyone had these big launches. I mean, years before. So I got in touch with Mark through someone else who knew him. I basically I knew someone who knew Mark. I asked them if they connect me. They connected me right to Mark. I interviewed him. We got along really well. Then I invited him to speak at my Continuity Summit, the first one, and he just kicked butt there. And we've developed this friendship over the past year. And he was writing a new book, and he's looking for contributors. And he emailed me and just about a dozen other people. And of course, I saw the opportunity. I wouldn't charge him to be, to write, or I would just say, of course, I'd write in the book. So I instantly replied. About a day later, I had everything written out, sent it to him, and the book is now out. And I'm sure you've heard of this. It's one of the best-selling book series of all time. It's called The Worst Case Scenario, and this just came out. And it's called The Worst Case Scenario Business Survival Guide. And it's really a cool book. It talks about when the economy's slow and your business is slow, what do you do to turn around? And it's really cool, quick tips. Like some topics are getting fast cash, dealing with complainers, dealing with nightmare employees. I have a couple of areas. I have one whole section to myself just about how to remove productivity leeches. You can see Ryan Lee. So I'm actually in this book, which I'm pretty stoked about. Stoked. It sounds like a surfer, dude. But creating killer ads. A lot of the guys I know in here, Joe Vitale and Tellman, and some really smart marketers and business people. And it's not just for big business. There are some things with big businesses, hiring employees, firing employees. But there's also some cool strategies for entrepreneurs as well. And it's not an expensive book. You get this at the bookstore. But it's funny because I talked with Mark last week, and I said, did everyone who you emailed about being in this book jump at the opportunity? And he said, there were actually there were some of them and these were his good friends who didn't even reply. And there was one person who replied. I'm not going to mention the person's name. Who said, it's you have to pay me though if I'm going to write. And now he's kicking himself because he would have been in this book. This could be a huge bestseller, hopefully a New York Times bestseller. And you get all this publicity. It includes your website in there, and your bio. So why wouldn't you do it? So what are the lessons? And also if you want to get this book, Mark put together a really cool special offer where you get this book and he's thrown in a whole bunch of bonuses too. Just go to ryanlee.com/survival, and the link's right below. But again, it's really cool. Just really cool, quick tips. Let me show you. Again, I like to do really in-depth product reviews. So what I like here in the appendix, there's there's some cool stuff. They're actually sample scripts. So if you're going to fire someone, here's the "you're fired" speech. If you're going to and how to announce it to the staff, the layoff speech, the "we can't pay you on time" email, the all-purpose apology. Some really cool stuff. The breakup "it's not you, it's me" speech for business. So some fun stuff and some really good strategy for marketing too. Some really straight to the point. It's not going to be 1,000 pages of fluff. So go to ryanlee.com/survival. But the takeaway is build the relationships, ask what you can do for them. I didn't say to Mark when I first approached him, hey, can you promote me to all your people? I just said, hey, I would love to interview you and promote you to my list. He's like, of course. And then you develop the relationship, and then that's when things start to happen. I never pushed him and said, hey, can you email this or promote this for me? And he came back with an opportunity to be in this book. So that's the way it really works. There was no specific subject heading. It was someone I knew who connected me to him. And now we're friends. Mark, if you're watching this, you are officially now my best friend. But check out the book, and hopefully this was a little lesson. It's funny because people always talk about the internet. What are the tips and tactics and YouTubes and strategies? But it's just like any other business, and it's all about relationships, and that's how you become successful. And again, I'm going to teach you all the strategies and the how-tos as well throughout this site and through my inner circle. But look at the big picture too. It's a business. It's relationships. It's building trust. People are only going to buy from you if they know, like, and trust you. So once you get that down, everything else becomes just so much easier. So it's not, the headline's important, but it's not about the headline. It's my lesson. It's Friday. Got a little date night with the wife tonight. So have a good weekend, and I'll see you soon. Take care.